Now, we're going to go back to these woke budget topics in the next segment. We'll have Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville. But first up, we need to have another look at Afghanistan. We need to tackle the catastrophic Afghanistan withdrawal, this time this evening with a China angle, an important China angle. So, not surprisingly, America's Afghan defeat is bringing joy to the hearts of President Xi and his Communist Politburo. In particular, Red China has its eye on Taiwan, a great American ally. And by the by, it's the great semiconductor center of the whole world. Red China would love to do to Taiwan just what it did to Hong Kong, that is, destroy their freedoms and take over their country and their system. By the way, take over their market system. So, we bring in my great friend and former Trump colleague, distinguished National Security Advisor, Robert O'Brien, the best of the best. Mr. O'Brien, along with Alex Gray, published a powerful op-ed in the Wall Street Journal a few days ago, How to Deter China from Invading Taiwan. Robert, welcome back, sir. And how do we deter China from taking over Taiwan? Because the Chinese are probably licking their chops after this Afghan debacle.
Well, that's a great question, Larry, but the one thing I want to say is being back in the private sector, I can't tell you after listening to your monologue how badly I wish you were running the economy like you were in the White House the last couple of years. We need free men and free women and free markets back. And look, it ties into national security because, as you know, and you preach this, Larry, economic security is national security. So when we're prosperous, when we've got a thriving recovery, when we're doing well, we can afford to equip the men and women of our armed forces with the best platforms and deter the Chinese and keep them from doing malign activity, whether it's with Taiwan or anyone else. So kudos on that monologue. That was just terrific.
Thank you, Robert. You know, it's a great point, by the way. I learned it years ago from Reagan. Strong at home, strong abroad. Weak at home, weak abroad. So you're quite right. Now, you want to put some significant resources into Taiwan, and rightly so. We've got to stop the Chinese there. And you talk about a porcupine strategy. Can you walk us through the porcupine strategy?
Sure. I mean, the people of Taiwan watched what happened in Hong Kong, and what happened in Hong Kong when President Xi and his communist colleagues extinguished democracy there, it gave lie to the one country, two systems idea that you could somehow maintain your freedoms but be part of communist China. And the people of Taiwan just don't want it. They're never going to vote for it. They're never going to voluntarily become part of the Communist Party of China and their empire. And so what we've said is, and we shouldn't even pay for it. The Taiwanese are profitable and they're thrifty and they work hard. And they've got a great economy. They can pay for it themselves, but they need to turn themselves into a porcupine. They need to have sea mine capability. They need to have anti-ship missiles. They need to start gun clubs like has happened in the Eastern European countries, kind of a territorial reserve. It's happened in the Baltic states and in Poland. And get gun ownership so that if the Chinese believe they can invade Taiwan, even if they get past the beaches, they'll know in every town and every village and every city there'll be somebody with an AK-47 shooting at them. We need to get them Stinger missiles so they can negate the big advantage in helicopters that the Chinese have over them and prevent an airborne helicopter assault on the island. So those are things that the Taiwanese need to do. They can pay for it themselves. They've got the money to do it. It's good for Taiwan. It's good for American defense contractors that can supply them the goods. And when they order them, we need to make sure they're at the top of the customer list because a lot of these items are popular. We need to move them up on the customer list and make sure they get delivered to Taiwan soon so they can deter China from bullying them and maintain their democracy, which is a tremendous... The transformation of Taiwan from an authoritarian country 30, 40 years ago to this vibrant democracy is one of the great success stories for people who believe in freedom around the world.
You know, in your op-ed, you talk about how important it is to end the narrative of decline, which communist China is trying to spread, the narrative of decline. I can't think of anything more important than that.
Well, you're right. And what happened is after the catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan, and we left a lot of American green card holders and citizens and our friends behind, the Chinese took that using the Global Times, which is their Communist Party mouthpiece, and they wrote an op-ed to the people of Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, and they said, look at Kabul. This is your future. This is what it's going to look like after we invade and the Americans abandoned you. And so we've got to reassert American leadership and show our friends and our allies that we're with them, but also deter our foes, deter the Russians, deter the Chinese, deter the Iranians. And that's going to take real leadership from this country, and we can do it. I mean, we're selling M1A1 Abrams tanks to Taiwan. We're upgrading their F-16 fleet. Those are important, but Taiwan also needs to do some of the anti-access area denial type weapon systems that the Chinese themselves have employed to make sure that that porcupine doesn't get eaten by the lion, the proverbial lion.
I love the porcupine metaphor. Two more quick ones, Robert O'Brien. Are you in favor of this selling Australia the nuclear submarines? It's in the papers. I guess the French are a little out of sorts about that. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. We can make it up to them, or maybe we won't. But selling nuclear subs to Australia, you favor that?
Yeah, look, it's a great idea, and we've got overlapping treaty relationships that go back many, many years with both the Australians and the Brits, and so that united front of Australia, the UK, and US standing up to the Chinese in the Indo-Pacific and giving the Australians the best weapon systems they can, they need so they can deploy them and protect themselves, but also work in concert with us to protect democracies in the region. It's very important. But I will say something, though. Remember, we heard all these stories of America is going to be back diplomatically. We're going to get along well with our European allies. I just saw that my friend and your friend Philippe Etienne, the French ambassador, is being withdrawn to Paris, and the French are unhappy because we did this deal without talking to them. Yeah. And France is an important partner. They were our first ally. We work with them in Africa. They're a critical ally in the Indo-Pacific. You have New Caledonia and French Polynesia. There are French frigates in the area. We need France on side with us, whether it's to challenge the Chinese with Huawei and their 5G plans, to be with us in the Indo-Pacific. So, how this happened without, trying to at least smooth things over and get along with our ally France is a little astonishing. And it kind of, as you know, President Trump got along very well with President Macron and with Prime Minister Johnson. It wasn't an either-or situation. We got along with everybody. And so I hope we're going to make some amends to the French, because they're a big, important country, and they were our first ally, and they're a democracy, and we need their help in the fight against China as well.
Actually, you're right. Even at my low level, I love Philippe Etienne. We spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Still really the best kitchen, the best meal on Ambassador's Row. Robert O'Brien, one last question. What's your thought? You were the national security advisor when this General Milley stuff, when he was, now they're saying this was just normal discussions with his Chinese general counterpart. Did he tell you about this? Did you know that Milley was doing that? Do you have a thought on that?
Look, General Milley, I think, is a patriot, and but I learned about these calls over the last couple of days from the Woodward book. It came from Bob Woodward, so I don't know if we should give it credit or not. I think General Milley said he's going to tell his side of the story to Congress in a couple of weeks. I think we need to wait and see what the general has to say to the Congress, but and see how it plays out. I want to reserve judgment on it until we hear what happened.
Yeah, fair enough. I have told the story on air and elsewhere when he was swearing in, I guess it was your law partner's daughter, and what a great patriotic speech he gave. We were in the Roosevelt room. I just happened to wander in looking for you. So this Milley story is very disillusioning to me. I mean, I hope there's something on his side, but it's just very disillusioning. Anyway, Robert O'Brien, we appreciate it very much. Great op-ed piece, The Porcupine Strategy to hold on to Taiwan.